Where to find buyers. What I guys want you to notice outside of those four important words is the next two words underneath of it. Digital heavy. Okay. And I want this to make sense to you. There are multiple ways. The old saying, I believe, is there's multiple ways to skin a cat. Well, as you can imagine, there's probably multiple ways to find buyers. But today we're going to focus on digital heavy. I am not going to sit here and ignore the elephant in the room, guys. Face to face, toes to toes, nose to nose. This is how you engage and interact today, right now, with no turnaround time. What do I mean? You can go out there right now and start engaging in dialogue and conversation with people instantly. This will always, mind you, always lead to the fastest turnaround in results. Okay? But we cannot dismiss everything else where society lives, and it's on a digital platform. Keep in mind, we are on a Zoom call right now. Okay? This is as relevant as it's ever going to get. So, welcome to the creative process. Guys, in order to find buyers, you must think like buyers. Think about that for a second. If you were a buyer, where would you be? Who would you be talking to? What would be your thought process? Would you know where to begin? Can anybody give me an example? If you were a buyer, where would you be? Who would you be talking to? What would you do? Any idea?
Me, pick me.
Woo, I pick you.
Definitely I would ask my friends and family that I knew that purchased homes, like, how did it go? How was the process? Who'd you use? Blah, blah, blah. But then like the other part of me would be scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, typing in NJ Realtor.
Ooh. Woo. Ooh. Wow, you got me sweating over here because that was spot on. And that's funny. And I'm not going to have Maria Lauren tell you how old she is or how young she is for that matter. But that's a real thing, guys. Right? Yeah, you're going to go to your friends and family for sure. But one thing you heard her mention is, well, she's going to go try to find a professional on social media. Here's one thing she didn't mention. And I'm not saying this doesn't exist. She didn't mention Facebook. And she didn't mention Zillow. Okay. That is putting yourself in the mindset of a buyer today. Oh, guys, we're going to have fun today. We're going to have so much fun. We're in for a ride, okay? But that's great. That's a great mindset. That's a great point that Maria Lauren made. Well, and the truth is, most buyers, they don't even know they can buy, let alone where to start. So, guys, us as professionals, remember one thing. People are not mind readers, and you're going to hear me say that multiple times. If we are, for that matter, going to friends, families, scrolling through social media, are we top of mind? Right? What are we offering for buyers? We're trying to find them, right? Well, sometimes you have to build it in order for them to come. But here's a couple of ideas. If I'm a buyer, yeah, Maria, and you notice that it's highlighted here. Social media, for sure. That's where I'm looking. I might even go out there in my local township group, and I know you guys have seen this before. Can anybody recommend a great local realtor? How many times is that not like the worst question to ask in a community group? And what happens? You get bombarded. How many of us have been tagged in those posts? right? Anybody ever been tagged in a community board post? Can anybody recommend a local realtor? And does anybody get the ongoing the running joke? Well, this is oh, be prepared, buckle up, grab your popcorn, because everybody knows a realtor. As a matter of fact, that's the last place I'm personally asking if I'm a buyer. I know I'm just going to be overwhelmed at that point. And yeah, I might get a few recommendations. And hey, at least, they're on social media asking. Gives me an opportunity to thank them, try to slide in their DMs. But that's competitive. Okay. But let's get back to the point. Some buyers don't even know they can buy. Okay, we know that some people have established already, right? They've established that they're looking for a realtor. Well, what's being offered? Right? Has anybody ever thought about a first-time home buyer seminar or webinar? Offering one on Eventbrite for first-time home buyers, free education, linking up with some of your industry pros, and doing a webinar, right? Local to your state, maybe to your, geographical areas that you serve. Maybe it's a few different counties, whatever the case is. You got to offer these resources. This is one way to find buyers, adding value. Our job is consistently add value. And when I mean do a first-time home buyers webinar seminar, okay, I'm not talking about doing one once. You want to really be effective. You want this to be effective, just like in any type of form of prospecting that we do. You've got to be repetitive with it. You've got to offer it same time, same day, every month, once a quarter, okay? Make it an event. Try implementing this into your business plan. And the best thing about it is you can do it digitally. Link up with one of your preferred lenders, title company, attorneys. What does it take? An hour with no travel time to create all this value? To basically do a Q&A, to run through the buying process, starting with getting pre-approved, the home shopping process, what attorney review looks like if there is an attorney present, what title looks like. Think about that. A value add. And if you're going to do one, commit to it. What about industry pros? Maria Lauren mentioned families and friends, coworkers, if you're dual career, renters. Because this is where you find the buyers. The only problem, again, is nobody on this list is a mind reader. Do they know what you do? And that's why we say top of mind awareness is paramount. Nobody, when I tell you, and I'm not just talking about you posting once on Facebook, it being in your Instagram bio that you're a realtor, it's not enough. That's, you know what the equivalent of that is? Here's the equivalent of that, right? Now, mind you, it's just in your bio. You post maybe, once a month, once a week. That's like you walking out of your house, not with an EXP hat on, which I do almost daily, with that little realtor pin that they give you, the cute one, right? When you sign up and you go through realtor orientation, it's like you wearing that pin on your collar, on your hoodie, with a jacket over it. It's not enough. Nobody is looking that close. Does that make sense? Top of mind awareness. But if you haven't already, screenshot this. Come back. Okay? This should be built into your daily habits. Making touches with your industry pros, being heavy on digital marketing and media, which is social media, attacking renters. How many leases end regularly, monthly? Do we even know when we should, as a rule of thumb, be approaching renters? Anybody? Should we be waiting until their lease is up to contact them? Or should we be dripping on them, contacting them months in advance? I have a client right now, actively buying. Lease is not up until the end of April. Do you think I'm waiting to get them under contract till April? The answer is no. The answer is 2 to 3 months in advance. Well, let's explain that. Granted, everything is moving along very smoothly, but it takes 45 to 60 days to close. Well, that's if you got them under contract day one. Let's leave 2 to 3 weeks of actually targeting a home, finding a home, getting one under contract, then counting of the clock, counting of the days. Okay. Does anybody know when the first mortgage payment is due when you're working with renters? Or you're working with anybody, but renters in particular, because they don't want to pay rent and mortgage at the same time. Anybody know the rule of thumb?
You get a month, right?
So it's yes, and no. Okay. So it's 30 days after the 30th day in the month that you close. So if I close February 15th, when is my first mortgage payment going to be due? April 1st. That is not a joke. I did not set that up. Okay. That's when the first mortgage payment is going to be due. And why is that important? Okay. Well, if I get you under contract in February and your lease isn't up until April, the end of April, well, then there's no issue. You're not going to be doubling. You're not going to be on the hook for your rent and your mortgage in April. You pay your last month's rent in April. Your first mortgage payment will be due in March. Lucky for them, if it exists, they'll get the security deposit back. Okay. We talk about building your brand. You want buyers to come. You want to find the buyers. Well, it starts with you guys. And you've always got to be prepared. Here's the thing. And I'm not ever, and you guys know me, everything that you see on these slides, I've put together myself, but I'm not going to read word for word. We don't have enough time in the day. Although it's not a lot. One thing I want to focus on. In order for you to have the confidence to go out there and engage in conversation, which would be a daily habit, at minimum, 5 conversations a day. Guys, if you are out there, and this will translate into social media, okay? Engagement is absolutely everything. Because you would actually have to try not to have 5 conversations a day or engage or interact with prospective buyers, future buyers. You're building a pipeline here too, right? You'd actually have to try not to have 5 conversations a day. It is quite literally impossible for me not to have 5 conversations a day with complete strangers, okay? The thing is, I'm very comfortable with talking. People are not mind readers. What did I say? Reoccurring theme here. And me, I do like to wear my brand. And let me explain further why. Literally, if not for anything else, this holds me accountable for my actions and behavior. Imagine my vehicle, which is the color, I call it EXP blue. But imagine, I'm in my car daily. I'm driving. My car is wrapped. I mean, if not for anything else, if no one's going to call me, right, I'm going to be held accountable on the road. I'm not going to be driving like I'm going to choose my words carefully here, right? Same thing when I'm wearing my hat or my shirt, my hoodie, whatever it is. I am a brand ambassador for me. And what this also does is this creates the opportunity for dialogue and conversation. I'm a walking billboard. And I'm not talking about the realtor pin, okay? And this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying always be prepared. You are always building your personal brand and you are always talking. You are conversing. Maria Lauren is concerned right now on how she's going to engage in a full blown out conversation with her dentist later on this morning with a mouthful of equipment. That's where your mind should be, right? having conversations. Practice talking. Because if you could talk with a mouthful of equipment, I'm sure you could do it without it. Okay. So, guys, be prepared. You with me? You guys with me? Let's talk about something fun. Let's talk about the average conversion rate as far as results are concerned. You're going to notice at the top, those are actual conversations that you're having with people. Try this. 200 conversations. We say 200 plus, but we'll say 200. You're having 200 conversations with people. And if you're lucky, the national conversion rate is 1 to 3%. That is period. That is 50 conversations. I tell you to have 5 a day. You should be having 10 a day, 5 days a week minimum, right? As a baseline. Imagine. This is why we're going to start shifting focus, guys. You want to know where to find buyers? I'm going to show you a more effective way to do it. Okay? But it does not mean you dismiss having those actual conversations face-to-face, toes-to-toes, nose-to-nose. One of the first things I learned in the business. If I am not in a home, how can I sell a home? If I am not talking to people, if I am not regularly letting people know what it is that I do, the service that I provide, how can I help them? They do not know what I do because I posted it once or it is in my bio description. Now, sidebar, okay? I'm not saying kill them, right? Letting them know every 5 minutes. And we're going to talk more about strategy in future calls, but hang with me here. Or in 30 days, I could probably generate 2.5 to 3 sales. Yes, 2.5. Okay. So what do we do when we're doing baseline? Okay. We call it 5 every 60 days. It's not bad, right? With at minimum 1 post a day. And guys, I'm not talking about sharing today's interest rates. Okay. With proper and consistent execution, results can be seen. Posting today's interest rate, okay, or whether you choose this California king over this Colorado king is not proper and consistent. Another thing that I want you to take into consideration is our baseline. You'll notice I have 30 days here yielding 2.5 to 3 sales on average with proper and consistent execution. But my baseline is a 3-month period. What do I mean? Can anybody tell me what a 3-month baseline period is? What a 3-month baseline period is this. I need to be doing this for 90 days before I start seeing those 30-day results. Now, here's the difference, guys. With going out there and actually having conversation, finding buyers, that's where you find buyers, right? When you're talking to people, that can happen today. There's delayed gratification in creating your brand and executing proper, consistent content on social media to generate business. You've got to be prepared for that, okay? You most absolutely do. So what can you do today to generate business? Today to generate buyers? You have conversations. But you have to do both. You do not dismiss the fact that you need to be posting on social media. People don't want to hear it. People do not want to hear it. I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm telling you what you need to do. This is what you need to do in order to yield results. Because I want to talk about active and passive, okay? And yes, posting on social media, it is going to feel a little more passive because, look, let's be honest. You don't have to get dressed. You don't have to go out there. You don't have to actually be face-to-face, toes-to-toes, nose-to-nose. But it is extremely effective and necessary. You have to practice delayed gratification. If you do not activate this mindset that social media is not going to generate you. And now, good guys, look, these are baseline numbers. Okay. You can expedite anything that you do in this business by getting fanatical with it. We all know that. Anything you do by getting fanatical with it. But you got to practice patience otherwise. Versus active. And I'm going to bring up an active activity that I think we all should be doing, right? And today we're going to talk about open houses just for a little bit, okay? I want you to think about this. Active prospecting for buyers will always include activities that yield the fastest probability of close rate. I've said that 3 times on this call already, okay? Put you face to face with people, right, who are looking now or in the near future. Open houses, online inquiries, direct referrals, right? You got to be having contact. And an open house is a prime example of this. How many open houses are we doing? It's one of the freest tools out there. This organization alone has a ton of listings. Ask somebody for an open house. You don't want to do one over here, right? There's not a listing in a market that you want to serve. Jump on Workplace and ask to host an open house. Agents do not bite, guys. You know why? They don't want to do them. A lot of seasoned agents don't want to do open houses. But you know what? Sellers want them done. So what do they do in their listing appointments? Oh, yeah, we're going to do open houses. First week, second week, third week. And what are those same agents doing? Anybody want to do an open house for me? Anybody? No? Any takers? Right? Because sellers think that open houses sell homes. But we all know that's not the case. Can anybody tell me why we do open houses?
Prospect buyer clients.
That's right. That is why. Let me tell you something. If not for anything else, guys. Okay. This is why you do an open house. Is there a chance that the home sells during the open house? Sure. There's a chance. It's a chance maybe a buyer's going, who's represented, who's being sent by their agent. They love the house. They go back to their agent. The agent submits the offer. What does that do for you? Nothing. Okay. Absolutely nothing. This is an opportunity for you to generate business. So if you're doing open houses, let's make sure we're doing them properly. I wish John Barcarola was on this call because I've seen a lot of people do open houses in my tenure. Nobody does an open house like John Barcarola. But let's talk about it, because this is an active way of finding buyers, hosting an open house. And a proper open house has to be prepared at minimum 5 days in advance. Well, Mike, really, what is there to do? I'm gonna blow up some balloons, maybe have a couple bottles of water. And I'm gonna show up half an hour before the open house starts. Well, that's great, right? You get what you put in. Okay. Let me tell you something about a proper open house. Proper open house is prepared days in advance. Now, if this is your listing, it may be a different story because you may be familiar with this property. But if you are not familiar with this listing, it is your job to be a consummate professional on exactly all the details, ins and outs that this home has to offer. So what did I do? I went in days in advance. I toured the property. I reviewed the property condition disclosure. I asked the listing agent questions that I had because I always put myself in the buyer's shoes, right? If there was no disclosure, how old was the roof? I know that was a question I was going to get asked. How old are the major mechanics? Is it on slab or is there a crawl space? Because I didn't notice a basement. Okay. What are the property taxes? How about the HOAs? Is there a capital contribution to join this community? I wanted to be prepared. Okay. The morning of, and you've got to be cognizant and respectful, okay, of your local municipalities, guys. You don't want to put them out the night before, okay? Usually a few hours before. John will wake up at 6 a.m. for a 12, maybe a 12 to 3 or 12 to 2. This man from a mile out, you will know how to find this home. multiple feather flags, multiple directionals. Like when I tell you multiple, you do not need, if you are a mile and a half away from this home and you just see the EXP open house sign, follow the yellow brick road, my friends. Shut off your GPS. You will not need it. That is a fact. That is being prepared. That is having the proper sign-in sheets put in place, the proper disclosures set in place. This is your opportunity to interview with prospective buyers. How are you going to look when you don't know the age of the roof? Because you showed up half an hour before doors opened, unprepared. Do you need refreshments? No. No. If you want to buy them, save the receipt, write it off. Okay? Make sure that that listing agent is updating the MLS. Make sure that you're posting in that local community or municipality's Facebook page. Do everything you can to spread the message. Well, here's an idea. Who sells a neighborhood better than the neighbors? Day before, couple days before, go around, introduce yourself. Guys, now you have a reason to knock on a door. How many of us don't want to go door knocking because we don't know what to say? We don't know how to sell our services. How many of us can knock on the door and let the neighbors know, hey, by the way, I know you love it here. And if you don't, here's my business card, but I know you love it here. Well, figured we'd let you know that we're going to be doing an open house. So if you have any family or friends who were or may be considering the area, we just wanted to let you know that we'll be here Sunday from 12 to 3. Please feel free to let them know or stop on by yourself. Come grab a cookie, okay? Guys, it is a no-brainer. Open houses are amazing ways to generate business, an amazing opportunity to find buyers. But unfortunately, that's I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to tell you that that's what we're going to talk about or focus on. Today, we said it was digital heavy. Today, you need to create a brand and a message regularly. And I'm going to explain to you why this is the most effective way. Remember, with a baseline of 90 days. But use today, guys, use today as a day to start. Use tomorrow as a day to start. Pick a day and pick a day to start, okay? Because what I'm about to show you is the transgression, okay? And that's between social media and video. You want to find buyers? Bring them to you. Look, 2018 and 19, you could still get away with a Facebook post. You could. You could. Not that video didn't exist. Video's been around for the past decade, okay? Effectively. Then the Insta story, short form content, right? A glimpse in, a look in the day of the life, what actively was happening, that was there for 24 hours, then gone. And then today, all platforms. Because do me a favor, open your phone. Open your phone, go anywhere. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, even Twitter. Okay, Twitter, we get it. Limited characters, but they are implementing video. It is relevant. It's relevant. If you're not the only one creating video, ask yourself why. And we've had some brave souls on these calls before in the past. Well, you know, I'm just not comfortable. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound on video. So I'm gonna do it this way. Okay. So what do we preach? You must seek discomfort. If you're not making video, that's the only reason why you're not doing it. Oh yeah, but no, my business, I'm finding great success doing what I'm doing. Okay. You're finding great success doing what you're doing, but you're not adapting, you're not pivoting, you're not changing, you're not making adjustments in your business. This is the same reason why you're going to tell me that Facebook works for your business. That is the same reason why you are going to tell me, I repeat, Facebook works for your business. I had this argument with my wife, and it wasn't really an argument. My wife loves to play devil's advocate with me. And I said, she goes, oh, what's tomorrow's training on? And I said, where to find buyers. Right. And then we obviously pivoted straight into social media, right? Content creation. She's like, and I said, yeah, because Facebook is dead, because you're not going to get any engagement on Facebook. She says, well, no, no, different demographic. And I said, that's the same argument that somebody on tomorrow's call is going to give me. The boomers, right? Here's the thing, guys. Let me ask you a question. And I'm not saying because it's not broke, don't fix it. Okay, because we have to consistently change and adapt. I'm not saying don't target boomers on Facebook or people who aren't actually social media. I'm not even going to say like technologically savvy or inclined. Okay, because yes, they're still there. They exist. Let me ask you a question. And I need somebody to answer this because I'm not going to move on until somebody gives me a one-word answer. In your business, do you want to grow old or younger? I got all day.
Young.
Yeah, obviously younger.
Yeah, that's what it is. We're not saying dismiss. We're not saying do not attack a certain demographic. Of course we are. But what happens? What happens when they've eventually been phased out? Yet you rested on your laurels to continue to not adapt or pivot and not create video. What happens? Well, Mike, I generate online leads. I don't need video. Right. My business is 100% referral based. I don't need video. Congratulations. Okay. You figured it out. I wish it were that easy. My business is 100% referral based, and I still need to do video. I still need to be relevant. I want to be relevant. I want to be changing. I want to be improving. Okay. And this is how you do it. And nobody wants to hear it. Or they would say, well, that's, we get it. We got to do video. No, I'm telling you, okay, you need to do it. Pick up the camera and press play, guys. This is where buyers are. They're on these platforms. Me and Maria Lauren did not stage this at the beginning of the call. This is where they live. So when I say video is paramount, I'm telling you, it is paramount. You've got to keep creating and enhancing your personal skill sets. So, short form content, this is what you're creating to connect with the current and next gen buyer. You said you want your business to grow younger. Then you need to connect with the next generation. Because guess what? The next generation doesn't give a crap about who their parents used. That's the antiquated way of doing business. You think you're going to get referrals because it's going to be passed down from generation to generation? It doesn't work like that way anymore, guys. It doesn't. That kid is on TikTok when they're ready to buy a home, and they've scrolled through this local realtor who's showing these luxury homes or painting this perception that they're the greatest alive. That's who they want to work with. Why? Well, there's a chance that I can end up on their TikTok. I will buy a house with you just so I can end up on your TikTok. Mark my words. If you think I'm crazy for what I just stated, I guarantee you this is how the next generation thinks. But You don't want to make video. This is your business. This is proven. You have to pivot. You have to make adjustments. When I got started in the business, my broker, who I thought was crazy at the time, told me, video, this is where the industry is headed. I laughed. I said, I'm just going to get toes to toes, nose to nose. He said, you for sure. You keep doing your open houses. But video, this is how we connect. Nobody wants to read your posts anymore. The fact of the matter is, they don't. You ever notice when you have a pretty exciting win in life and you post it on Facebook and it goes crazy? Or you're starting a new business or a new venture and everybody supports you? And, and then it just falls off, the engagement, right? Like maybe you get 50, 100, 200 likes. You just started your career. And then it was a post. It was a picture. Picture used to be worth 1,000 words, right? And yeah. And now, a week later, maybe a month later, you're posting California King versus Colorado King. Yeah, I made the Colorado King up. But no one seems to be engaging in it. Right? It's just not exciting anymore. How do you capture that? How do you recapture that audience? You've got to be relevant. Even on Facebook, I probably average 300 views on, which is nothing crazy, on my Instagram. 300 to 400 views per video on my Instagram, and then another 300 to 400, sometimes 500 plus on my TikTok. My Facebook, same content, right? Because I don't care if people are liking it. I care that people are watching it. I really want people saving it, but we'll get into that in the future. But yeah, no, it's maybe 100, 150 views, right?
Hey, Michelangelo, can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
So, I've been hearing this message from you, and I'm definitely, over the past weeks and months, and definitely been trying to soak it in. Being a person, like, despite being a millennial, I'm not all that big on social media personally. So I think my biggest hurdle is trying to think about what would be the best content to put in a video that I would post regularly, being really new to the business and still learning, and not feeling super confident with my knowledge just yet to just go out and just make a video and feel like, okay, I'm giving everyone the exact accurate information. I know exactly what I'm talking about. So do you have any recommendations for like coming up with just quick little content ideas that you could post in videos? That's
Oh,
really where I'm struggling.
absolutely. I'm glad you asked. And it's one of my last slides. I'm going to give you guys a bunch of ideas on content. You're so welcome. And, guys, keep in mind, it's short form. That's why I've highlighted Reels and TikToks here. Even on Facebook, even though, like, for me, honestly, I love a good minute-long video. I love a minute and a half because I love to hear myself speak, right? But the problem is, even I know that's not where we're headed. It needs to be more short form. Maria Lauren's the queen of Reels. But to answer your question, but I don't know what to post, right? And it's coming in. We're transitioning, guys, because remember, this call was built around where to find buyers, okay? And this is a question that we receive over and over. Mike, we get what we have to do, but what do we do? There's going to be a common theme here. I guys want you to pay close attention to this because the content matters. You have to always be delivering. Stop posting generic stuff. It's not relevant. It's not sexy. It's not exciting. Nobody cares. That is the harsh reality. That is the harsh reality of it, okay? Nobody cares which closet I should choose. You think it's engaging because you're asking a question, right? But there's no true value add there. This is the common theme I want you to have when you're creating content. I want you to answer a question. I want there to be a takeaway. And there has to be return value in the content that you create. answer a question, make sure there's a takeaway, and out of that takeaway, give them a reason to return. This is the formula. This is the theme. Oh, Maria Lauren?
Yeah, I was going to say a good one. I feel like when you first get started, to make it seem like you know a lot more than you feel like you know, is literally get terms like, and just make super short videos like, what is title? What is escrow? What is, and then just answer it. Answer the question for the people, and it makes it seem like you know everything, and all you're doing is giving definitions.
It's brilliant. That's a
Oh my
brilliant.
gosh, I can handle that. Thanks, Maria Lauren.
That's a
idea.
brilliant theme. That's a brilliant theme. And the thing is, they want to see you. Your friends and family want to see you guys, and the strangers want to see you, because this is, if you've ever heard me talk about video, I'm very passionate about this. This is an opportunity for people to interview you without interviewing you, to pick up on your energy, your tonality, your personality, right? And speak with conviction when you're talking. You do not need the fancy cameras. You do not need the fancy microphones. You need none of that. You've got a phone. Utilize it. Okay? But imagine you're answering a question. What is a contingency? Okay? What's the takeaway? They learned what a contingency was by you simply answering a question. It's a 2-for-1. Return value, tune back in, next week or every Monday for a new term defined in real estate. Make it a theme, right? And let's go into a little more detail. Answer a question, right? So why do we go, and guys, just so you know this, TikTok is very close, very, very close to outperforming Google as a search engine. Now, let me repeat that one more time for anyone who didn't hear that. TikTok is very, very close to outperforming Google as a search engine. You want a recipe? You don't search it on Google. You don't ask a question how to cook something on Facebook anymore. You go look for a video. You YouTube it or you TikTok it. Okay? That's what these platforms, that's what they're transitioning to. Right? I'm going to give you a prime example. I have this beautiful Eagles pullover, and it's 100% polyester. And I shit you not, excuse my French, 100% polyester. And I bought it 2 years ago, and I got this little stain on it, and it's been in my closet ever since. I've refused to throw it away because it was very expensive. But I've also refused to wear it because I will not wear anything with a stain on it, okay? My Metro side. But you know what I said? I said, let me TikTok how to get this out of the stain out of polyester. I kid you not. Baking soda, Dawn dish soap, and a little white vinegar. 3 hours later, the stain was gone after 2 years. I went and I TikToked it. 35 years old, guys. And I'm no spring hen, okay? But that's how I get my answers. I asked a question. I searched how to remove a stain. And let me reiterate this. That person who saved me finally after 2 years, not only did I save that video, I started following them for more tips. Okay? Why are they here? Why are they targeting or watching your videos? Because you're answering a question to something that is trending, relevant, possibly entertaining. What's the takeaway, guys? Well, here's another one. I gave, who knows the name of the program, but there was a tax rebate program in the state of New Jersey. Okay. And I went into detail about how they were to go about applying for this rebate program and how to check the status of it. I gave them a takeaway. Okay. I had a message. I answered a question that people may not have even known they had. I created the value, I created the takeaway, and it's one of my most saved TikToks on the platform. That video is one of my most saved videos on TikTok from people who I've never met before in my life. I also picked up quite a few followers from that video. Okay. And return value. Here's another example. when we're targeting buyers, even when we're not targeting buyers, we are targeting buyers. Even when we're not targeting buyers, we should be targeting buyers. And I've gone into detail about this, providing that value, giving people a reason to return to your content, okay? Top 5 hay rides in South Jersey. That has nothing to do with buying a home today, but it's valuable. It was trending in October, hay rides, haunted houses, right? Becoming a professional on local eats, highlighting local businesses. You guys want ideas, the ideas are out there. But more important than the likes, which we consider engagement, which anybody who's trying to sell you a lead online will tell you, you know, that's engagement. We told you we get you engagement. We didn't say that they were going to reach out to you and become a lead or a prospect, but they engaged, right? Careful when you're purchasing online leads, guys, right? Because they base everything off of engagement. The most important metric of engagement is not likes, it is saves and shares. Because think about this. Any reason to return to your content over and over again with the ability to be shared with others who may have not been introduced to your content otherwise is a reason why you create return value. Because now you're a pro on what happens in your market. You do know a lot about South Jersey. You do know a lot about North Carolina. You know a lot about Myrtle Beach. Man, if I were buying a home, this is the person, right, that I would probably use. They know their area. Before I went to Hawaii, I watched a ton of videos on TikTok. I watched a ton of videos on YouTube. Could you believe that the majority of the videos were created by realtors? Local experts in their markets. They have a beat, guys. You have a beat on what's happening. And if you don't, go get one. I don't care if you just moved to wherever you're located, wherever you're watching, so you just moved. Go get a beat. When I moved down to South Jersey, I came from Central Jersey, the Jersey Shore. I knew no one down here. And this is where I started my business. I knew no one whatsoever. Create a beat. Or just have conversations like I did. Run every renter, every opportunity that you're faced with. Take it and run with it. Build your business this way. Tiana, we talked about, some topics, guys. So if you want to know where to find buyers, you're going to be creating content. Here are a few ideas, okay? How about a simple intro? A bio. Who are you? How about working with a buyer terms? Working with a seller terms. How about partnering? Because I go on to state micro-influencing with industry pros, right? You want to talk about lending? You can talk about lending within reason. Or you can micro-influence with another industry pro, okay? And collaborate on a video where they're talking about title, where they're talking about lenders. How about the questions that you get? How does the process start? Where do I start? I get this question a lot, but like my business plan and model is a little different, right? Well, how do I get my real estate license? It's a question that I get often. What about incentives? What about market shifts? Again, local geographical highlights, guys. Get a beat on where you live. Satire, yes. Because, guys, things that trend are pretty exciting too, right? You see all this trending stuff and you want to follow or you want to recreate something that's trending right now because it makes it relevant. It's for comedic relief. Yeah, switch it up. Throw some of that in there too. Do some of the funny stuff. But also add value. People will come back and watch you if they don't even necessarily have to like what you look like what you sound like, but maybe you're adding value to them. Maybe it's something that they think that they're going to need in the future. Maybe because you're trying to grow younger in your business. Okay? That's what you're trying to do. And you're trying to also stay relevant. That's why You've got to get creative. That's why you've got to post video. You've got to create content. And it's just a simple fact of the matter. This is where buyers exist. I told you where to find buyers. You can go out there and have 200 conversations a month. Okay. Still baseline that, right? Baseline, all baseline. You should have a baseline for everything, 60 to 90 days before you start seeing results. You want to amplify it? You want results in 7 days? 10x it. 10x exactly what it is that you're doing. Okay. But you've got to set expectation also. Press play, have a script, press post. That's it. That's what you need to do. Guys, very clear. You know how I end right at the top of the hour, every single call. Everything starts with you.